Hello. So how do you start properly advertising your bookkeeping business? So this is a really important question because I know a lot of people, as we're entering the last quarter of the year, a lot of people are looking to start their own bookkeeping business, but maybe there's a little bit of trepidation. Am I ready? Do I have enough experience? Am I good enough at marketing? Can I actually get people to sign up with me? There's a billion questions that you could be asking, and you might be asking that could be holding you back from getting started. So I want to kind of answer some of those questions in today's video. The first thing I want to talk about is how do you start properly advertising your bookkeeping business? So let's say that now you've bridged the credibility gap or you're ready to start getting your first client. So number one, okay, you want to exhaust your warm network first. Let me grab some water. Yeah. Oftentimes, people that know you trust you the most, right? And a lot of times with accounting and bookkeeping, it's a mixture of trust if you're going to strangers. But trust really comes down to relationship and just wanting to see someone succeed. So if you already know someone, they oftentimes want you to succeed, so you can go to them first and sign them up as clients. And they're not going to be as critical, they're not going to hold you to as high of a standard, and they're going to give you a little bit more grace when you're doing this stuff. So that's why I like going after the warm network first. Now, within the warm network, instead of just going after clients, because maybe you don't know anyone that owns a business, but you might know someone that knows other business owners. So how I got my first large client, it came from an old colleague that I worked with. I just reached out and said, hey, start this bookkeeping business. Let me know if you know anyone that's needing bookkeeping. It said, this company, it was a manufacturing company. They're doing about $10 million a year. They had just, I can't remember if they had let go of their controller. Something happened to their controller. So they wanted a controller. So basically, we set up the meeting. It took 2 meetings to kind of get this person to go. Because the first one, we were showing off our credibility. Second meeting was more about, can we do this thing remotely? And this is the rates that we're charging as a contractor rather than just as a W-2. And that, I wouldn't recommend that strategy for most people trying to take a regular job and turn it into W-2 because it can be a little bit challenging. You do need some sales skills to do. It is possible, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I would go after companies that are looking for a contractor first because they're generally going to be a little bit smaller, right? They're generally going to be a little bit smaller, more entry level. But it came from the warm audience. So what you can do is start looking around. Let's say you have a LinkedIn profile. Let's say that you've collected 150 people from your entire life. You can go through each one of their profiles and you can start seeing, hey, do they know a business owner? Do they know a business owner? Do they know a business owner? And then what you can do is you can either call them or text and say, hey, can you introduce me to Bob? Can you introduce me to Susie? Can you introduce me to this person? Maybe they need a bookkeeper, maybe they need an accountant, and they'll do that for you because they already like you and they want you to succeed. Actually, a really good example is our student Susan. So in a mentorship program, when she was first getting started, we did this activity where we looked through all of her old existing friends and just family, and there was someone that she actually went on a date with, I think 3 years prior, and nothing really came out of the date. They talked, and it wasn't on bad terms. So she reached back out to the guy because his LinkedIn profile said he owned 3 businesses. So, long story short, I think it took a week of going and talking through. The guy ended up paying her $3,600 a month, so about $1,200 a month each for each business. And it just came from just understanding how to go and navigate that warm network and getting clients, right? So that's, what is that? That's close to $40,000 a year off of one person in the first 2 weeks of us working together because we understand how to tap into that warm network. Now, where to find bookkeeping clients? Maybe you don't have a warm audience. Now, for me, I got lucky because I didn't have a lot of friends when I got started because my work history wasn't that large. I wasn't 40, 50 years inside of different accounting jobs or different accounting firms, right? So I didn't have that many people, right? So I used what I had and I got some clients from it. But let's say you either have used up your warm network or you don't have a warm network. How would I go about this? So I would be starting to think in terms of active and passive. Active is a way that you go and get clients that involves energy. It involves either you spending your time or use it your time. I don't really recommend spending money in advertisements if you're starting your business in the beginning. Most people just don't have the right skill set, the patience, or the understanding of what it actually takes to get clients from ads. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So I would start with free methodology. So that could be social media. Now, on social media, there's a bunch of different ways you can use it. You can either post, you can message people, you can friend request people, you can go on different comments. The easiest way for this is, okay, so first you understand, okay, this is your active method, and then we'll talk about LinkedIn in a second, actually. The second thing is your passive way to get clients. So when I say passive, I like building referral partnerships so that as of like maybe you're working a full-time job, you're able to go and get clients still being sent to you without always being able to market. So you want to have the active one for control, the passive one for growth and for scale, just like short-term scale to get to your first like 10, 12K a month. Now, next thing. Oh, also one thing too. So why am I saying one active, one passive? Why would we not just get a bunch of passive ways to get clients? Because your active methodology, once you understand the key performance indicators or KPIs, you can actually make the active methodology passive. So I'll give you an example. One of our students in our mentorship program named Audrey, she was working on LinkedIn very manually for the first 2 weeks. But once she got the hang of it and she got her first clients, okay, cool. Let's reinvest in some tools. Like these tools can be anywhere from like $20 a month to $100 a month, but they can basically automate LinkedIn for you so you don't have to be spending your time doing that. And for her, she'll get anywhere between like 1 to 3 sales calls every single week from her LinkedIn stuff when she turns it on, right? Now, for her, again, it's like you have to have a structure behind it, but again, the active can turn passive. That's like my goal for you. So eventually you'll have active, turn to passive. Okay, so now you have 2 passive. Then you do another active one, then you turn to passive. Now you have 3, right? And over time, you keep doing that until you have all these different streams of income and clients that kind of move. Now, for LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is all about learning how to build an audience of business owners, and it's really about controlling your growth, right? It's a form of active in the beginning, can turn passive. But how I would recommend doing it is, I was just telling one of my friends yesterday, we are in this age of business that you can do a lot more now than what you could 5-10 years ago. And it's more about speed. So I was making this like video training, and I asked ChatGPT to make a script and to do some different things. That thing made this 43 long minute script, and it took it probably 3 minutes to do so. 3 minutes. That script, like because the way it was very structured, historically that would probably take me a month to make that kind of script and to make that kind of training material and all the graphics. 3 minutes. So 30 days versus 3 minutes. What is that's like 1,000 times fast? Like literally, it's about 1,000 because 100 times would be 300 or be 0.3. Yeah, so 100 times would be 0.3 of a day. So a third of a day. This thing took 3 minutes, so it's literally 1,000 times faster. Wow. And it can do the same thing with content. You don't have to like make your own content anymore. You can literally just ask ChatGPT, make a 30 days worth of content for my bookkeeping business. And then just slap a picture of yourself or some kind of random graphic, and you can throw it. That's 30 days worth of posts right there. You don't have to think. You don't have to think anymore to just post content. It's ridiculous. Like I used to tell people, like, you don't need content, but at this stage of the game, it's so easy to make it. You might as well just have it up there, right? It's ridiculous. Now, in addition to the content, now here's where people go wrong. The content is not necessarily the thing that's going to get the clients. Okay, that's the misconception. When you have a small audience, maybe 100 people, 200, 300 people watching, the content is not going to be really getting the clients. The content is just making it so that people know and trust you more. So if you ever reach out to them or they have a need, they come to you first. So in addition to the content, you need to be thinking about how do I go and grow my audience by between 5 to 10 new business owners every single day. Now, here's a catch. If you can grow the audience by 5 to 10 new people over the course of 350 days, that's a year minus, we'll say, 15 days for just random stuff or blah, 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 right? You will have 2,000 connections on your LinkedIn profile by the end of the 350 days. Now, to put that in perspective, I was saying like 2,000 is a lot, or some people might say 2,000 connections is a lot. Some people might say like 2,000, like they don't have any context into what 2,000 actually can be. Now, I have seen contacts on social media be worth as much as like $200, right? So it's like every follower on LinkedIn can be worth $200 for you. So what is that? What's that math? 2,000. Let's say 100 just for good measure. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2. That can be worth $200,000 for you. $200,000. So just to put that in perspective, for 5 to 10 people every day that are now knowing you exist, you can make $200,000 from that initial audience. It's like you have no reason not to do it. It's free. It's social media. Now, you have to make sure you have the right followers. If you just have a bunch of people that own a business, you have 1 million of those, okay, it's not going to matter how many followers you have. But if you're talking about true business owners that have a good sized business, or at least have a good industry that they're in that makes it more likely to get clients or makes it easier to get higher revenue, you're going to make more money. There are different ways on LinkedIn you can check to see how much revenue someone is making. Usually you can go see it on their company page. Like, it'll tell you like revenue, it'll tell you employees, it'll tell you approximately like how big the company is going. So then, like, for me, we're only focused on companies that are doing at least above $500,000 per year. If they're just getting started, I don't like talking to them. They generally don't have the budget, in at least most cases, to pay us the price points we're looking for. Now, one thing that's cool about LinkedIn is that you're in control. So since I can grow and I can say, okay, I want 5 to 10 people a day, I am the one moving my business forward. I no longer have to be waiting for to refer people to me or word of mouth. You don't have to wait anymore. Imagine having full control and knowing exactly where your client is. That's the power of LinkedIn. Like, even Facebook to a certain degree, but I personally like LinkedIn a little bit more. It's easier to use more of the style I like using it. Now, so if you ever follow our YouTube channel, right? Every Thursday we release a video about the new result that a student has gotten this week. And oftentimes, you might have been seeing recently, a lot of our students are getting cleanups for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It's not a coincidence. It's usually from LinkedIn, because we can tell approximately how much money a company is doing, so we know who's actually worth it. And then we're just going after companies that have a higher propensity to need a cleanup project. So we're going to better clients. We know who needs a cleanup, and then we're able to put our scripts and our pricing together to start getting those higher cleanups. So if you don't know how to charge someone $20,000, you don't know what to say to get them to say yes, and you don't even know how to price the services, that's something we can help you with inside the mentorship program. But that's just one thing that we do. But yeah, it's just really making sure that you're able to grow the audience correctly, and you know exactly where those stuff is coming from. But yeah, there are really large size companies that you can get on social media if you know what you're doing. Okay? Talk to you soon. Have a good one.